Welcome to New York Got Game.
All right, the offseason continues. Another edition of New York Got Game. Dexter Henry here with my guy, Bryan Fonseca. And Bryan,
Yes.
you know, offseason time. We've been talking about a lot of things. Free agency is pretty much done. The Knicks do still have to sign somebody out there. We haven't got that
If they
done
want.
yet. If they want, they don't
Technically,
have to,
Yeah.
right? With that last veteran minimum spot. We talked about that a couple of shows ago. We also had questions from fans, a lot of interesting ones. But today, we're going to focus on the young players. And it's a couple weeks since Summer League has been over. You know, there's not much basketball going on. We have Eurobasket next month and some of the other international tournaments.
Whoa. All WNBA is going on, first
Yes,
of all.
I meant men's professional
and
basketball.
also in terms of men's professional basketball, every Continental Cup is going on. I know because I'm going to be covering all these on my YouTube channel.
And Bryan loves this.
Asia Cup, Afrobasket, Eurobasket, America.
All going to be going on.
All going to be August.
But if you're waiting for the NBA, we still have a little bit to go, about 8 weeks away from training camp, right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the young players on this Knicks team. And a lot of you have been asking for them to play. A lot of you were asking for more minutes for some of these guys. They didn't get it under Tom Thibodeau. Can they get it under Mike Brown? That is a huge question. Now,
can they earn it?
Can they earn it?
That's the key.
With all that being said, you needed to see some. I don't say needed to. That might be strong. You were hoping to see something for them from these guys in Summer League. And we're talking about 3 guys that we're going to focus on today. We're going to talk about Pacome Dadiet. We're going to talk about Tyler Kolek. We're going to talk about Ariel Hukporti. Now, if you've been watching myself and Bryan these conversations, we've talked about what some of the pathways for these guys could look like. But I think the deeper thing that we want to talk about today is, okay, what can they do good if they get minutes? How can they earn those minutes in Mike Brown's rotation? And if they do, how will that look? Right. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to talk about. I think the Knicks do need to play these young guys. I'm going to start off by saying that it is time to inject some youth into this rotation. I think it's important that they get some minutes and grow and develop. That is very important. But I don't know if you're with me on that. I feel like some of these young guys got to play.
They got to earn it ultimately. And from what we've seen, I mean, Summer League was kind of uneasy for all 3 of them in some ways. And it's also Summer League, but second-year players, you want them to show you a little bit more. And Tyler Kolek, for example, shot 1 for 23 from 3, other than the Nets game where he went 5 for 12 from 3. Like 1 for 23 is terrible from 3-point range. And if he's not going to hit his shot, for example, like that's somebody who, can you find a place for him in the NBA, like other than the playmaking? Because on defense, for example, and we'll look at some clips from these games, but Boston went at him often as if it was an NBA game. And it was like, we got to find the guy, the weak link on the floor, so to speak. So you need these 3 guys to find a role because you don't project any of them to be stars, at least not right now, if ever. And the likelihood is that they're not going to be. So how are you going to be a functional role player in the NBA? You have to show different NBA level skills. That's being able to create your own shot for Tyler Kolek and to hit that shot. For Pacome Dadiet, it's being able to do the same, but also be driving with strength and showcase that defensive versatility. And then with Ariel Hukporti, it starts with protecting the rim, finishing around the rim, setting hard screens. And we have some things that we're going to look through to see, some positives and negatives and some things to work off of. Now, this isn't going to be like the gospel, so to speak, because at the end of the day, these are clips that we identified as things that may or may not translate
clips from
to the
Summer
NBA.
League, to also be clear.
Clips from Summer League on things that are relevant in terms of like whether or not they can translate for better or for worse.
Right. And a lot of these guys didn't get the playing time last year. None of these, when they were rookies last year, played 300 minutes. Nobody reached the 300-minute mark. That did not happen. So you want to see a little bit more. And so this is why we had to look at Summer League for this. There's not a lot of tape out there. We could look at Westchester and look at in the G League, but we wanted to talk a little bit about what we may have seen from these guys recently and how this possibly is the key word, folks, translate to next season. So I want to start with Pacome Dadiet here because Dadiet is a guy who I will say I was high on. I thought the Knicks should take him. I think they got him as a first-round pick. It was number 26 overall last year. 27. Yeah. I think a lot of fans and, guys who projected this, scouts were saying, hey, he was a late first-round pick. Some people thought he would slip to the second round. The Knicks took him as a first-round pick. I can tell people this, the Knicks like him.
Yeah.
The Knicks organization likes what he can bring. They need him to do some of the things you talked about, Bryan, which is hit the open shot. They want to see him be a versatile defender. He's 6'8" with good size. I think he's a good feel for the game, good pace for the game. Now, we're going to look at this, and I want to pull this first play up from that we saw him against Boston here. And Bryan, before we start to play, you talked about how important it was to see him drive here and what he could do and be opportunistic. There were sometimes we saw that last year when he did get into Knicks games. And there were two things that stood out to me with him in Summer League. There were some times, like we're going to watch in this play that I'm about to show, where you saw the driving ability. But I thought his movement without the ball was also very impressive in his ability to cut. But I want to watch this play here. And let's go on this play here against Boston as we watch Pacome Dadiet here in this action. So, Bryan, let that one rip there.
We'll look at
as
this.
We see.
We'll look at this full speed first, and then we'll go slow motion, too, because we're going to go through slow motion just to get a better sense of, like, the specific second-to-second breakdown, if you will. But here, we have a handoff from Hukporti. Dadiet, strong around cup, and doesn't finish, but actually gets his own putback. So let's look at a couple things here. One, moving without the ball.
Yep.
On Baylor Shireman, by the way, who the Celtics are invested in. So this is not like a regular standard summer league, not going to make the league type of dude. Like,
he's a guy they're expecting to have strong minutes for them next year.
Right. So he beats him off the screen.
Also, a good screen set by Ariel Hukporti, which we have to say there. Didn't move, didn't turn the shoulder. You like that right there. Beats him off the street, strong with the ball. That's what I like right there, Bryan. Strong with the ball.
And then right here, pause. So he has a clear lane. Doesn't pull up. Some guys would pull up in this situation. And I think to use that 6'8" physicality, this is a wings league now, right? Like, ultimately, you have to be able to do multiple things. So he drives strong here on Jalen Bridges. Finishes over Amari Williams, who's a 7-footer, true 7-footer, by the way.
Good adjustment there, though. That should also be noted in the air, right? He makes the adjustment on his way down. He releases it because if he had done it on the way up, he probably gets a shot block. So that's a good adjustment there.
So over, doesn't finish, but is right here, ready to get his own putback. So it's just the aggression there. Now we'll play it again full speed. Like, this is an NBA play, ultimately, what this is. And boom, back up, finish. That's NBA stuff, right?
And so there, to stop that there, you like him staying with the play. That's another thing. I think also you calling it an NBA play, something that I think you can see more under Mike Brown, and we'll talk a lot more about this dribble handoff action, right?
Yeah.
And you have a young player like Ariel Hukporti engaged in that. When you're doing dribble handoffs and you're giving up the ball, you got to make sure you set solid screens. So in two plays, we're talking a lot about Dadiet here, but one of the things I liked here was Ariel Hukporti makes that play happen by the transfer and setting that good screen.
So now that you mentioned that, we'll play it one more time, because if you see here, Ariel Hukporti, this is Karl Anthony Towns, essentially.
Yep.
Because at the NBA level, like, this is what's going to be happening. We've talked about Mike Brown being adaptable. Domantas Sabonis was doing a lot of dribble handoff in Sacramento. So this is what Towns is going to do. So he comes around the screen, like, it's going to be the same handoff. And also, I want to see here, Hukporti.
He does roll, right?
Not very hard.
Not hard.
But he's in position just in case that pass is coming. Now, he made the right decision, Dadiet did, in not passing the ball, because ultimately you just have a better matchup here. You could take Jalen Bridges. He's a fellow wing. And then Amari Williams has to rotate. By the time you're trying to make that pass, like, it can go wrong. Hukporti, like, he has to be ready for that. He made the right play here. It's a good basketball play.
It's a good basketball play because you got two guys to commit there, right? And so now two guys to commit as they're moving towards the basket. Now another guy's out of position. That, if you watch the play, allowed Dadiet to do the right thing, which stay with your shot and follow it. And also Hukporti was right there with him. Yeah. So Hukporti did the right thing, crashing the glass as well, too. So those are two good things you like to see out of a young player. Now, everything we talk about here is not going to be 100% positive, right? And Bryan and I talked about this before, and we didn't want to just say, okay, let's highlight the positives, right? There's also some negatives that we saw from some of these young players because they are young players. Now, defense is another way that you're going to be able to stay on the floor or not.
The main way.
The main way. And look, we like some of the things that we saw from Dadiet. We're talking about his movement. We'd even talk about his shooting. And he'll need to do that and space the floor. And he's got a good form. I like Dadiet's form when he has a shot.
2 for 8 from 3, I think, in summer league.
And he missed. He only played 2 games.
Yeah,
right. He only played 2 games.
Right.
So, but I like his form. He projects to be a decent shooter.
Yeah.
But he didn't shoot that well in Westchester last year. He's got to shoot better at this level to stay here. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if he does some little things like this and, dribble handoff actions, this will help him stay. Now, Bry's laughing
because I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going. Now, okay. What is not going to help you stay on the floor is poor defense. And defense is the hardest thing in the league for a lot of young players who maybe don't come in with the best defensive instincts. Dadiet's got the size.
Yeah.
I think he can move his feet well enough to get this done. Like, I think you would agree with me, Bryan. You think he can be a good defender.
I think he should be able to, at his apex, guard multiple positions and do it well. Yeah. He has the size. He has the frame. I think he'll have the commitment. And honestly, on this Knicks team, you're not going to get a ton of touches offensively. You're going to be in a position where you have to make role player plays, so to speak, to get minutes. You have to defend. You have to defend multiple positions. You have to hit open shots. You have to take the drive when it's there, drive and kick if it's there. You have to do little things like that before we could talk about, okay, now you're going to have a bigger seat at the table, so to speak.
Yeah. And so when you try to have a bigger seat at the table, what you can't have happen is what we're going to see here on this play. And so, Bryan, let's go through this play because you're going to see Dadiet come into this action. Now, watch before we start. Dadiet is there in the bottom right of your screen. Okay, so Dadiet is right there, and you see the action at the top with Marjon Beauchamp trying to fight over a screen from Baylor. That's Baylor Shireman.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And then Kolek is on the back end of that action, right? So he's going to have to switch there onto Shireman. So we see this happen. Kolek does the switch. Keep your eye on Dadiet in the corner because when you're watching basketball, I understand the tendency is to just watch the ball. But this play is very important to watch what is happening off the ball, right? So try to keep your eye on Dadiet while also looking at what's happening on the ball.
So again, here's Dadiet, and here is Jalen Bridges from the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play this full speed. Watching the ball. Oh, gets beat backdoor. Too easy. Now, how this happens. We're going to go slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Back up a little bit here. So Jalen Bridges is in the corner. Williams has the ball. Amari Williams, a good pass for a 7-footer, by the way.
Fantastic.
Nice pass.
Bounce pass.
So here's Dadiet. He jump stops, which is dangerous.
Yep.
Dangerous, especially when you're dealing with these level of athletes. And I know it's summer league, but still, summer league is you're having guys trying to make it. So he jump stops here, and this is just perfectly read. As soon as the jump stop happens, it's like, oh, and it's like Dadiet probably thought he can get there a little bit quicker,
but he was already done,
and he gets beat here. Nice finish, also. That's a tough reverse layup there. Look at it again, full speed. Again, not the end of the world or whatever, and you could say, "Oh, we're overanalyzing things," but this is what film is. And listen, honestly, coach probably pulled him aside after next game, and it's like, "Yo, dude, you can't jump stop with these level of athletes to that when it's that close.
Yep.
When it's that close, these simple things, this is what gets you beat in a playoff spot.
And it's a fantastic read by the opposition. Because you're watching Dadiet's foot position in the jump stop, and his right foot is pointed towards where the ball is. Now, you want to be in a position where you can move either way. And what's the Clydeism I'm going to use here? See your ball, see your man. If you play defense on basketball level, that's what your coach is going to tell you. You want to do both because you got to keep your eye on the ball. I mean, sounds a lot easier to do than it is done at the level that you're talking about, Bryan, with such great athletes. Because if somebody is watching on offense, and that's good offense, to watch the body, but there's a lot that had to go right there. You're watching Dadiet make the jump stop, his body position, reacting that you need to cut. And then there also had to be a perfect bounce pass.
From a center.
Yeah. But because he was out of position, that's what allowed the bounce pass. Because he couldn't even, he's out of position. He couldn't even get a hand in there to stop the pass if he wanted to.
And he's expecting dribble handoff.
Yep.
This is why he's up at the top here. Bridges decides to go backdoor because it's wide open. Perfect bounce pass.
Perfect.
And look, this is Amari Williams. This is an undrafted rookie. This is not somebody or a rookie. This is not somebody who's like Nikola Jokic or Victor Wembanyama or Bam Adebayo or one of these good passing big men who you're going to see at the NBA level Domantas Sabonis, for example. And this is just a great bounce pass. Also well contested there. And just
fantastic finish.
So, again, not the end of the world, but these are some of the things like these reads, when you're overplaying your man, this could happen in the NBA. It's very difficult. A lot of this comes with experience.
Yep.
And ultimately with Dadiet, like part of it is like you think the ceiling is pretty high defensively. I don't know if it's like all defense level or anything like that, but things like this is what you have to watch out for, because Mike Brown's an old school defense first coach. I know he's adaptable and all these things, but he is ultimately defense first. So what that means is if this keeps happening and you get beat backdoor, it's going to be hard to get minutes.
Yes, getting beat backdoor is not a way to stay on the floor. That is not how it's going to get done, right? Like, this is not the way you want to stay on the floor. If it's getting beat backdoor is not what you want to do, and it's not necessarily a good look. So we saw here some positives for Dadiet, and there's one more.
This involves all three guys.
This involves all three guys in this play, and this is why I selected this play to look at, because this is another positive in how this play ends for Dadiet. But the action here is good, and the recognition of all three of the young players involved is good here. So we're going to start here on this play that's going to show you a little bit of Dadiet shooting, but Tyler Kolek running the point here with the ball. So let's let it play in full speed.
Screen from Hukporti here also. So Hukporti gets the screen. Nice dribble drive. Dadiet gets the three. Okay.
Now, a lot going on there. There's a couple things, because Hukporti got just enough on Baylor Shireman, right? Just enough of it. It wasn't.
Shireman? No, that wasn't Shireman.
Sorry, that's not Shireman there. But gets just enough on the defender, right? Mm-hmm. Who had to try to avert Hukporti. Because watch as Kolek comes off the screen. See, look at that move. Yep. He's got to try to beat him. So now Kolek's got him beat. Kolek is going to split two defenders here and gets them to commit to him. Look at the attention he draws here.
He doesn't he's not soft with the dribble here. He throws it ahead, which is risky. Jordan Walsh is here, almost gets the pick. And Hukporti over here is rolling.
But here's the thing. Right here at this point, Kolek has a decision to make. He's got a man beat on his left side and another man on the right. Now, he's a lefty. He could have gone up with the left there and tried to finish.
Yep.
He does not, but because he's such a good and willing passer, he could also
try to make the pass to Hukporti too.
But I think that would have been more dangerous.
But he made the right call.
He made the right pass, which was to kick it out to a wide open shooter. Look at the space that Dadiet has.
Shireman's here trying to close out. Dadiet could also swing it here to the corner, but there's no need. Like,
no need.
You're this open. Coaches will tell you,
I'll take the shot.
Take the shot, or we're sitting your ass down. That's what they're going to tell you.
I want to see you take this shot. And this is what you wanted to see Dadiet do. And watch, he goes up. The release is confident, strong, squares up. Look, that form is good.
That's great.
That's wet. That's wet. That's what it should be.
I think it was his 1 of 1 for 5 in the game, or 1 for 3, but still, like that's the form is there. And ultimately, like that's part of it. Like, if you're somebody also who's going to get, like, we think he's going to get to the free throw line. I'm saying like too much. If you're somebody who's going to get to the free throw line, you have to hit this shot as well.
Yep.
It opens up your game a ton. This is an attempt at a closeout from Shireman, but ultimately is too late. Beautiful shot. And just one more time for Ariel Hukporti, the screen that he set.
Just enough, right? Just enough without throwing out his hip. Watch. Stay straight. He faked it, actually. It's funny. It's almost like a ghost screen.
Yeah.
He never really truly clipped him.
Because if he tries to, he gets called for the offensive foul.
Yep. And he had good recognition there, and the defender had to move around them. It doesn't matter whether he didn't hit the screen or not, Bryan. That helped him create the space.
That's all it takes
for Kolek. And Kolek, who's an elite level passer, and the record, look at that. That's just a great pass. Beautiful pass.
Beautiful pass from Kolek. Play recognition off the charts. And then, just to back it up real quick before we get into the next part, Dadiet here the entire time. Now, I don't know if this qualifies as moving without the ball, so to speak, but good recognition. Just slide down a little bit just so my point guard could see me.
Yep.
Just so he could see me here. Walsh is like, he has to help now at this point because Kolek has the defense beat, and he just stays wing shooter, boom. Like, that's a shot that Jalen Brunson will set up for you. Yep. That's the other piece of it. Like, you have to think about these things when it's summer league, when it's a G League. You have to think about, okay, who are the NBA guys that are going to be making these plays? Because if Kolek is doing that, and yes, he's more of a pass-first guy than Jalen Brunson, but Jalen Brunson is going to pass out to shooters.
And he does get into the paint.
Yes, like and he gets into the paint more than most other guards in the NBA.
Yep.
So you have to be ready, even though he'll shoot more often
than
some of his peers, but you have to be ready because that open three could be there. It's not just him. Jordan Clarkson, too, whose playmaking, we've talked about it. His playmaking has progressed in recent years, and he's going to have the ball a lot coming off the bench.
Yeah, like this. I think this was great action to watch from the Knicks. We're going to move on quickly. Going to look next at Tyler Kolek here. And Kolek, look, you talked about the outside shooting. You talked about the fact outside of the game he had where he shot the ball really well against Boston. He was
this game. Brooklyn. So he was 5 for 12, and the rest of it 1 for 23. So he made a bunch of threes in this game, but we're not going to showcase all the threes.
All that. One of the things I wanted to show from Kolek, because I thought that was really important with him offensively in Summer League, was the aggressiveness to try to get to the paint and into the paint, like we just saw in that last play where he assisted Dadiet. I thought that was important, but could he get in there and actually take shots and finish?
Yeah.
One of the strengths of Jalen Brunson, who we just mentioned, to bring an NBA comp as another lefty, is he can get in there and finish. So watch Kolek here on this play against the Nets, and I liked how he got into the paint, not deep, but in the mid-range, and then was able to get it done. Watch him here.
Little dribble drive here. He's being guarded, I believe, by Grant Nelson, who's 6'11", center.
Yep.
So mid-range area. It's a Jalen Brunson shot, essentially. Now, he doesn't need to be Jalen Brunson, but this is the type of thing where if you pass on the three, make a good decision. You have, first of all, matchup advantage because you have the speed advantage, obviously, over a 6'11" center. It's not even a bump. It's just a jump stop. He fakes.
Good fake that had the defender off balance, and he was able to create just enough space, right?
Yeah, because look at his hands.
Look at his hands.
Look at the ball.
Look at the ball. Fetus that's fading back a little bit, and he does once he gathers, but that's good. He's Dirk, looking like Dirk off of one leg, right? But he had just enough space, good touch on that, gets it over the defender, and is able to sink the shot. I like that offense, or at least looking for the shot. I think that's what I take away from that, is like you were being offensively aggressive. And I'm not saying that being offensive aggressive only happens with shooting, because that can also happen with passing, right? That is a part of offense.
Yeah.
But the fact that he looked for a shot in this situation with this Summer League team, you wanted to see some of that aggression. Now, you didn't want to see the 1 for 23 from 3 in the other games, but you did want to see some of that aggression. I think if he has a threat of shooting or more confidence in shooting, it is only going to make him a better passer.
So here's the other thing too, because his head's always up. He's always looking to pass.
Always looking.
So here, first of all, eyes on the rim. He has a corner shooter here.
Yeah, but does he?
But
did he in the Summer League?
Right.
But did he?
Like you could. Now, if that's OG Anunoby, I'm probably making the pass.
Right.
See,
I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but the point you're making there is why you can't go too crazy about Kolek and his performance in the Summer League.
Yeah.
Who he was playing with mattered, because if you're playing with OG Anunoby, maybe you're more inclined to pay this pass. You're playing with somebody. This Knicks Summer League team did not have a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
And
a lot of Summer League teams
don't. And Tyler Kolek, who passes the ball, knows that, right? And I think that did affect his play a little bit, but good point, well made by you.
So you have nothing here in the paint. Just nothing here. Over here, this is not for Marjan Beauchamp. This is not a pass that you're going to make here. That's going to get deflected. That's going to go the other way. That's maybe a pick six. This is 1,000% a pick six over here. So you have two options. You're shooting or you're hitting the corner right here, which, by the way, you hit that corner shooter. It may look open from here in the NBA, even in the Summer League. That's a quick closeout.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden the offense gets stagnated. You have 12 seconds left on the shot clock. And now you're scrambling to get a good shot off. And then it's 6 seconds. And then you have to whip the ball around and somebody has to create. And then you're putting up a bad shot. So here, just play with the ball a little bit. And at this point, he's absolutely taking the shot. Beauchamp does a good job relocating.
Which is what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And he could make the pass here. I still wouldn't. But yeah.
But he gets a good look over a slower defender. I think that this is NBA stuff right here. This is WWJD. What would Jalen do? What would Jalen Brunson do? And it would be the same exact shot. Front of the rim is good. You get the shooter's roll. And that's a good NBA backup point guard level shot.
It is, and you like seeing him do that. Okay, now to the bad. One of the things that I think you maybe didn't like, besides some of the shooting from Tyler Kolek, or the lack of shooting, was turnovers, which is something you don't want to see from him. Again, I take a lot of caution. This is a summer league. You're not playing with as talented players as you would even in your NBA practices here. But I think with Kolek, the other thing you wanted to see was, could he take care of the ball? Could he also defend? So this was a turnover from Kolek that I think was an absolute poor one, Bryan, that we'll play right here.
Yeah.
And Tyler Kolek, as good as we know he is as a passer, got to take better care of the ball. So we're looking at here, Kolek's bringing the ball up.
Being defended by Isaiah Wong here, I believe. And just a lazy pass. Shireman takes it the other way. Kendall Brown, easy finish. Okay. We will slow motion that because there's a lot there.
Yeah, and transition defense is something we're going to talk about here too.
And it was an isolated thing, as you mentioned, turnovers. And look, Boston, the Boston film is rough in particular. So here we go. Okay. Wong is here. Good job of pressuring. That's a nice behind the back, but Wong is still there. And now, okay.
Didn't recognize that Dadiet had not sealed his man off properly at all.
Dadiet's here in a dogfight with Baylor Shireman. Dadiet's not open. And just wrong. This is anticipatory, but like not in a good way.
Not in a good way. It's bad. You were anticipating Dadiet to step out. He does not. Because about you, so that's not reading. You're just anticipating, like you said, in a bad way, and that's why you make that bounce pass early.
Yeah, and I think some people would say, okay, Dadiet just kind of stands here because he tries to shove Shireman off, but at the same time,
got to read it better.
There's a miscommunication here. Shireman is first to the ball. Dadiet is not in position. This is very easy. Wong did a good job of pressuring Kolek up the court, which I think. To be fair, NBA teams are going to do this. Like, if Kolek is in a rotation, I think guys who have the speed advantage, who have the athleticism, like, they're going to pressure him up the court. And the Knicks, you might want to slow them down, whatever it is. So this is going the other way. And then transition defense here from Dadiet and
so stop right there.
Yeah.
It looks like a 2-on-2, but you got to have the eyes to see who's, especially you want to stop the ball. You don't want to get in the middle. Job number one on transition defense is stop the ball. That's job number one.
Yes.
So watch here who doesn't stop the ball. You also have to be aware of what the numbers are. So Dadiet, also not good transition defense, not watching. They both look like they're trying to stop the ball here. That allows Kendall Brown to streak in right behind it. So this is poor transition defense. Even if it's 3-on-2, right? You want to make the offense work. You need to make them, at least force them to make an extra pass if you're going to get beat. This is way too easy what we see happen here.
And it's surprising here because Wong makes a decision to go around, presumably to the corner. So they're like laser focused on this happening.
Right.
And Brown's over here like, cool. Easy pass. I'm going to get this dunk. And
which, to be fair, I don't think that's what Wong should have done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like he
kind of makes a mistake in that regard. But now you could argue because he does that, the defense is so fixated over here,
right?
That you have you have Kendall Brown just going through the wide open lane here to get this dunk.
I think what happened is the defense was like, oh, well, we got him to move to the corner. Now that it feels like a 2-on-2 and we have won here. But the most dangerous place in transition is always the middle of the court. And you had to be aware. You got to be aware of that. And also the problem is nobody stopped the ball quick enough. Nobody made a commitment to stop the ball. A lot of that is on Kolek because he made the turnover.
Yeah.
And he had to pick up there and he did not. But Dadiet is responsible too. But listen, it all starts with the turnover. And then you didn't make the effort on defense, as we said. Kolek maybe makes an effort to stop the ball. Maybe that play doesn't look as bad. His coaches, looking at him a little bit differently. But that's not a good play.
And this is why, like, Kolek hitting his shots is going to be important. If you're somebody who struggles from the perimeter, they can pressure you up the court. And then once you get up the court, they could sag off and be like, all right, you're not going to shoot. You know what I mean? Or if you do, like, I don't care.
Right.
It's just these little things that will add up. So
those will add up for sure. And so you see how these mistakes matter. Now, on to Ariel Hukporti as we are moving through this. Ariel Hukporti, Bryan, you and I feel the same way. The Knicks have done a good job with developing big men in recent years. We've seen it obviously with Mitchell Robinson. We've seen this with um,
Jericho Sims still in
Jericho
the
Sims
NBA.
was still in the NBA. We even saw this with Nerlens Noel. I know some of y'all didn't like the hands from him, but we did
Precious
see
Chua had his moments.
We have seen them have success with some big men. Ariel Hukporti profiles as a guy that can work in the Knicks system. He could be a lob threat. He could be a good rim runner, but that comes to the stuff you mentioned at the top. Are you going to set the requisite screens? Are you going to do that? Are you going to be strong around the basket on offense and defense? Those were the things I was looking for from him coming in. Now, there's a couple of plays already that we've looked at where we've seen Ariel Hukporti do the things that he wanted to do. The first game the Knicks played in the summer league, I believe that was against Detroit. I was a little underwhelmed with him. I didn't feel his presence in that game. I didn't feel like he was really setting hard screens, tough inside. I didn't feel like I saw any of that stuff. But
then you got a talking to maybe.
I'm sure he did. I think somebody said, "Hey man, you need to show up and show out. You got to pop out this next game.
You're on a standard contract.
Yeah,
you're not on a two-way deal.
Yeah, you can't be comfortable here.
And it's the last year of your contract, I believe.
And he didn't look in the second game. He did not look comfortable. Mm-hmm. I felt like he made his presence felt. I think this is a play right here where we're going to watch again with him, and I think you're going to have to watch what he does with the screen, and then specifically what he can then do if he rolls hard off of screens and gets the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
That's the key. Are you going to screen hard? Or are you going to roll hard?
Yeah.
Are you going to make life easier for your shooters around you? Jalen Brunson, if he has the ball, because you keep talking about NBA players, that's the stuff that's going to matter. So watching this play right here as we play this, Kevin McCullough Jr. has the ball here.
Good screen.
Look at that.
Slow this down. Boom. Big man finish. That's what you want to see. Okay.
And that's good hands there too, which is something that they love about Hukporti.
Yes.
Really good hands. When I watched him last year in Summer League, I was very impressed with his hands. A lot of the skill comp you're going to see with him is Isaiah Hartenstein, and I see it. His touch around the basket, maybe not as good as Hartenstein, but he can set. Hartenstein was so good at setting screens.
Very good.
His screen assist rate was so high with Brunson. Look at the numbers from the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. And I think this is the kind of player that Hukporti could be. And I know some of you out there, I forgot who commented on this. We understand it is Hukporti. We do understand. But sometimes the New York accent comes out. Anyway, we're looking at this here. I think it's like watch the screens to get set again and then the roll, right?
On Brown. This is a good.
That's a great screen.
So he's set here. He's set, just gets it there right on time. McCullough Jr. does a good job of using it. First of all, second of all, this hesitation here to get the defender off balance, get the big off balance, that creates the lane for Ariel Hukporti. And now he gets it, no hesitation, over 7 foot Amari Williams, who we mentioned earlier. Hard dunk too, like not looking to pass, not pump faking, not
right
doing
up with it.
No power dribble, nothing, just right up, boom. Not an and one, didn't get the contact, doesn't matter, finishes it. Like not expecting the contact, not bitching for a foul, nothing.
One of the things we saw from Hukporti last year that I impressed when he did have minutes, I'm thinking about, there was a dunk against Cleveland early in the year when he got some minutes. I forgot who he posterized. It didn't count because it was offensive foul, but it was a poster. It's a shame it didn't count. I don't remember who it was against. I remember it was a game against Cleveland.
Jared Allen.
They lost.
He's gotten a few of those.
Yeah, he posted somebody. I don't remember who it was. But he does go up strong. And the fans were into Hukporti. They were really into how he plays. I think he's got to bring this kind of energy. He's got to set these kinds of screens. He's got to roll hard.
Yeah, hard rolls.
Hard rolls. Guys that have the ball in their hands, whether it's a Jalen Brunson, whether it's even sometimes a Mikal Bridges, they will look for him. He's gonna. You are the person. You said you think he's got the easiest pathway to getting minutes, particularly if the Knicks do start a double big lineup with Mitchell Robinson
and even if they don't,
Karl-Anthony Towns.
Even if they don't, because Mitchell Robinson, he misses games. So does Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yep.
He's the guy, I think, of all three of these dudes, I'm confident we'll see him get rotation minutes.
I agree.
I don't know if it's going to be
do things like this.
And I don't know if it's going to be from day one. And I would still say like Dadiet might have the highest ceiling, the highest NBA ceiling in terms of functional NBA skill sets, versatility. And offense and defense, like the two-way potential with Dadiet is there from a ball handling perspective, from a driving perspective, and can he hit the jump shots necessary? But to warrant playing time this season, Ariel Hukporti has the pathway because of things like this. It's just the cleanest role. Like, can you screen? Can you roll? Can you finish? Can you also be an anchor defensively? Can you do it in spurts? Can you be one of these guys who's going to get 8 and 6 and 14 minutes? Then you go sit down. Like, that's the other thing. It's not going to be, I don't think, at least, unless they're really injured, it's not going to be 28 minutes, 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be anything like that. So I think in short bursts, he can give you real productivity because the skill set is already there.
I happen to agree. Now, the one thing that I think he's going to be asked a lot to do, and I think we'll see this in Mike Brown's system, we talked about dribble handoff action. There's going to be a lot of that too. So when you're doing that, you're going to have to take care of the ball. And you don't want centers that are just turning the ball over when they're trying to get it to guys. If you're going to set the screens, you also got to be careful with these passes. Or when you get it in the post, you got to have good hands. You can't have the stone hands. That can't happen. And Ariel Hukporti, he did have some turnovers that were not good.
Yes.
And his turnovers that lead to points off of turnovers. We know how important that is in basketball, Bryan.
Especially in the playoffs.
Especially in the playoffs. Possessions are everything. You got to value these possessions. So what you want to see with these young players is, do they understand the importance of these possessions? And this, what we're going to look at right here, is one where it's like, I know the coach had to talk to him on this, because it's like, yo, come on. You got to take care of the ball. We know you're not a point guard, but you can't have silly turnovers. We talked about that with Tyler Kolek previously. So let's look at this play here with Ariel Hukporti and how a bad turnover leads to points for the Celtics.
This is a breakdown on multiple fronts. Again, Celtics film, not fun if you're a Knicks fan.
No,
now,
I'm sure it wasn't fun for them to watch.
Yeah, or the coaches. So here he is with the ball. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Shireman here. And then this is not flattering either. Just gets scored on the other end.
That can't happen.
Let's go backwards. Let's take this in slow motion.
Now, the one thing I do want to say that he did right, and I talked about dribble handoff action, right? So they're actually trying to run this here, and watch when he gets the ball.
Yeah, he's calling for it too. That someone's out of position here. There's like just
I think it's probably Dadiet, because there's too many guys. Look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 of your guys are at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
Right? And one man down low in the paint
with Jordan Walsh.
That's not a start to a good offensive set.
Yeah, and here he's calling for the ball. So Dadiet recognizes this. It happens. 17 seconds on the clock.
Total miscommunication here.
Here, first of all, that's one problem. The other thing is, I think this is Kevin McCullough Jr., if I'm not mistaken, just can't dribble, has to give the ball up here. This is just scrambled from the start.
So here's the thing. Now you're in a better position, right? You're going to have, 3 guys are going to be there on the strong side. I guess technically Hukporti's playing on the right, which is the weak side. He's got the ball at the top. Now, let it go. Let's play this through. So he's got it.
He's like,
he sees Kolek coming.
And he's telling him, it looks like he's telling him to,
look, I don't know if he wanted to come or he needed Dadiet to cut away to the other side.
This drives me crazy. So many NBA players do it. They just picking up their dribble for no reason.
That's the mistake here.
And Kolek, I think if you're Kolek here, you're in a tough spot, but you have to go get the ball at this point. Now, This is well defended. He tries to go get the ball.
Very well defended.
Very well defended. I think this is Jalen Bridges again.
And also did a good job of showing to go get the ball and then denying, right? To be able to deny Kolek. So watch this here. Because look, he shows to reaches to get the ball.
By the way, up here, out of the play. Dadiet, not in the play.
Nope.
So this becomes a 2-man game between Ariel Hukporti and Tyler Kolek. There's the bounce pass.
But it's a terrible bounce pass. It's a terrible bounce pass.
Dadiet is not like, this is not a hard enough pass for Dadiet to get to, and this is too hard for Kolek to get to.
Even if you were trying to lead Kolek away, right?
You're leading him into Baylor
Shireman. You're leading right into Baylor Shireman, and the problem is the bounce pass there, and Baylor Shireman is easily able to grab his Dadiet. Nobody moves to the ball.
Yeah.
And then Baylor Shireman. We're also talking about Baylor Shireman beats all of y'all down.
Nice bump.
Could have been called for the foul.
As a lefty.
And finishes with the right. So, terrible pass from Hukporti, but I think you nailed it. You nailed on the head right here. The first thing was he gave up his dribble way too early when he did not need to, right? And that's just not trusting yourself
so
in dribble.
Here, like this.
So did he. Like, yeah. In the corner on the sideline.
This whole play was awful. Like
it was. On the sideline, he gave up his dribble way too early.
His dribble's given up. 29. Sorry, don't remember your name. Pressures him here. Look, I've been doing a decent job with the names.
The spacing is terrible.
The spacing is terrible.
Terrible.
Walsh is like, all right, cool. I guess I don't need to do anything here because I just got to guard my man in the paint, make sure there's no backdoor cut. Hukporti's here. By the way, if this is Karl Anthony Towns getting the ball, I feel a lot more confident with the ball in his hands. He'll make a stupid decision at least once every game, but like he can he can dribble with the ball, and you don't want Ariel Hukporti dribbling the ball that much, and then to pick up your dribble here, like this
after one dribble,
like Tyler Kolek, you got to go get the ball, but he's trying to. And Brown's like, we're not going to let – this is great ball pressure from the Celtics. The Celtics did everything right on this
But something I did mention before, and I just watched Hukporti do it again when he ran it back. You know, he picks up his dribble, and then he brought the ball down in an area where Brown was able to make a play on it and have that go ball deniable, where I give Brown a lot of credit, right? Because watch, the one dribble. He's got the one dribble. Now Cole's got to come get it, right? Ball's up, down. Mistake. Yep. Don't want to do that as a big man. You just made yourself smaller and easier for the defender to go and take the ball. Not what you want to do. Now it's hard for Kolek to go get it.
Because he's trying to dribble handoff, but there's a defender right there.
Yes. Now, kudos Brown, because Brown could have been over-aggressive. He could have fouled reaching in. He doesn't. He immediately sees.
I think that's Bridges.
Bridges, sorry. He immediately does not get it. And then is able to have good ball denial there. You got to give him credit.
Great ball denial.
Great, fantastic. Jalen Bridges, fantastic ball denial. Hukporti tries to lead, but wait, why you can't
look
lead
here.
Right into another player.
Hukporti has no other options here. So there's no reason to pressure because what are you going to do? Shoot?
He's not, and he's not doing that. Now, if this is Karl Anthony Towns, you're playing that differently.
Right.
But
especially from that spot. Yes. You are. But recognizing your personnel, there's no need to be up here. So Walsh is here. You're not. Hukporti's not throwing this pass to the corner, and then over here, McCullough Jr. is just moving away from the ball, trying to get to the corner. He's just out of the play at this point. So okay, you really have one option here. They played this well. Shireman's here. Nobody else in Boston has to do a thing, and now we're going the other way. And it's just very easy. Tough shot, by the way. I don't think the contest was that terrible, but you got the bump offensively.
Yeah.
And that's just great at creating shot. Could have been an and one, as you mentioned. And these are just the ups and downs in Summer League. It felt like there were probably more downs than ups in certain situations when you look at it. But what's going to matter is training camp. And this is why I think whoever they get from that 15th spot, if they do sign a veteran minimum guy, has to be somebody who can compete with these young guys, because it's not somebody who realistically is going to start or anything like that. Like I know some people said, hey, Ben Simmons, he could start. No, he can't. Or at least you definitely don't want him to at this point in his career. I'm not
comment on that.
But I think you need to bring in competition.
I agree. But this was good to look at because these young players have a lot to learn, and there's definitely going to be stuff to look at with them. As Bryan said, as they get to training camp, how is that all going to look? So we were able to look at this video, look at how all of these players did, and there'll be a lot to tell when they look at the tape. The coaches are going to be going over the tape like we did here with them, things they need to work on, how they need to get stronger, how they can get better both offensively and defensively. We will see how all that is able to play out as we move forward here into the offseason. But look, Bryan, I like the potential of these young players. I like to see them play some minutes, but I love the word you use at the top. They got to earn those minutes, and we'll see if they're able to earn those minutes. There'll be a lot more to break down. We'll be doing some of these video breakdowns with myself and Bryan throughout the offseason and into the regular season. We'll be doing a lot more of these here on New York Got Game. That's Bryan Fonseca. I'm Dexter Henry. We'll catch you next time on New York Got Game.